So it's a rare two-parter, the second half of our trip to the Wendover Airfield. There's just so much history to take in, we couldn't fit it all in one episode. So this is the event hall, which is remarkably kept pretty much intact. Now, it was restored. A lot of this was asbestos, so they had to tear everything out and rebuild it. So really, I mean, some of the exhibits here are really, really amazing. Like that one over there, that one's the bomb. Because it's the bomb. We were just speaking to Kathy at the front. She's manning the desk at the museum. She actually grew up here. Her dad was in the service, and she would come into this hall as, you know, in the 1940s during the base's active years. So even though the building was completely gutted and restored, she said walking in here is like walking into her childhood. So when you walk into this event hall, this is very much what it would have looked like in the 1940s. So in the event hall, you'll see a replica of Little Boy. This was the first atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima in August of 1945. You're standing on the base where the parts that make up the bomb were not only built, but invented. So in 1945, when the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Sadako Sasaki was only 12 years old, and she was one of the survivors of the atomic bomb. She folded thousands of tiny paper cranes in honor of peace between the United States and Japan. She later died of leukemia. One of her paper cranes is actually on display here at the Wendover Airfield. There's two kind of museums when it comes to war history stuff, right? There's like the museum where it's like all restored stuff or all replica stuff. And then you've got kind of the off the beaten path museums, which are a lot more fun. And that's what this one is, where it just has odds and ends, everything from trench art to original uniforms to certificates of service to like bits and pieces of actual plane crashes from planes that crashed out here in Wendover. Here we go, ready? Time to go, let's get them.
Please don't touch the artifacts.
Sorry. So we're going in to see the building where they kept the Norden bomb sights. Now, the Norden bomb sight was used on the B-17s, on the B-29s, and the B-24s. This was a very sophisticated piece of equipment in the 1940s. It was top secret and allowed the US bombers to pinpoint their target based on where they were going so that they could put the bombs in the right place. And so it was kept behind very secure spots, and only certain people, that being the bombardiers, could have access to it. So take a look. There's 4 concrete vaults in this building. That's where they would have kept the Norden bomb sights. Oh, here we go. Yeah, right here. So it would have been in this box right here. Bombardier would come in, get the box, and that's something else entirely.
Yeah. Bomb sights were usually just in like a canvas bag. They'd carry it between the airplane and here.
So where we're at now would have been the original Bombardier training building. Then it was the firehouse until the mid-2000s, which is why I'm using this thing. So this is kind of a now meets then kind of building. You've got your modern fire apparatus here being used in an old firehouse from World War II. So some of it's old and some of it's new. It's kind of a cool parallel. That's still functioning. No way! Oh, you gotta let me go down the pole. Oh my god. Oh! Check this out, man. It's the Con Air plane. And I don't just mean a plane like in the movie Con Air, it's the actual plane. They filmed the movie Con Air at the Wendover Airfield. And then when they were done, they were like, we're just gonna leave this here. So here it sits. One thing that's not on the tour, but you can kind of see as you drive past, are these white buildings that are kind of off to the side. These were Soviet inspection stations that were out at the old Morton Thiokol plant in Magna. So you had like Hercules and Morton Thiokol, where all the ATK stuff is now. They had Soviet military personnel ready to inspect all of the vehicles coming into and out of the area to make sure that we were upholding our end as Americans of the arms agreement. So check this out. These were the vehicles that were allowed to go through. And you can see it's all in, obviously it's all in Russian. That is insane. And all of these buildings were constructed in the Soviet Union because they're not going to trust those pesky capitalists with building stuff. So in the 1940s, they described this place as being like another planet. They used the Wendover Airfield for such a secretive project like the Manhattan Project because it was so remote, but at the same time, the air conditions were perfect year-round for flying. So you can imagine what this view must have been like during the active years. Landon, our tour guide, was just telling us that there was one point like 140 planes lined up and down these runways and down the taxiways. I mean, it was a busy, busy area. So my big thanks to Landon for inviting us out here today. The historic Wendover Airfield, the museum is open Tuesday through Saturday. Visit their website right here below. Comment below on what you want to see next time on Cool Stuff in Utah. Like it, subscribe to it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, you can land! You can land now!